Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. SEC, the broken regulator. We got Binance, Coinbase, Ripple, and how about the Grayscale effect? You're going to like it. CBDCs, R3, the United Arab Emirates, and USA, USD Tether. But how does Ripple fit in? We're going to talk about it. And what's going on with price, ladies and gentlemen? XRP is going the wrong way. We're going to take a hard look at it. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, it's $1.73 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 0.9% in the last 24. 41,800 plus right now for Bitcoin, 2,400 plus for Ethereum, 94.8 billion plus market cap for Tether. We're going to talk about that today. 55 cents for XRP as it's up 0.6 on the 24-hour, off by 4.2 on the 7-day. Look at the range of price very quickly here, ranging between 54 and 55 cents. So we're back to that very tight trading range after falling off a cliff yesterday. We'll see what goes on if this turns around and goes the other way. We're going to take a good hard look at the technical analysis before we get out of here. And I want to remind all of you, tickets are selling like gangbusters here, ladies and gentlemen. With 102 days left, we can already see projected that the VIP tickets are going to sell out very soon. If you're interested in a VIP ticket, it is limited. You better get your VIP ticket before it is gone. And the only thing that'll be available then is your general admission ticket. This is going to be an incredible 2 days, ladies and gentlemen, an incredible 2 days. We're 102 days away from it. And I encourage you to click on this button right here to go to the Fundraiser, the Future of Digital Asset Benefit Dinner, so you can break bread and hang out with Brad Garlinghouse, John Deaton, Michael Arrington, and the Honorable Christopher Giancarlo, ladies and gentlemen. Get your tickets, limited seating for all of this. Do not wait. This is going to sell out. There's no question this is going to sell out. And look, just very quickly here, look at how this is shaping up. Perry Amborn from the Digital Chamber of Commerce, the Honorable Chris Giancarlo, co-founder of Digital Dollar Project, David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple, CEO Simon McLaughlin, CEO Kevin Maloney from MyTrust. Think of it. We're not even done yet. Oh, wait till you see what we got coming. It's not, oh my goodness. That's why I say you better get your ticket. Meanwhile, Elon Musk and X launched their new payments account. It's coming right here. You can see they've started it. X Payments right here. Okay. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. All right, well, here we go right here. Let's move through this because the hearing for Binance was moved to January 22nd due to the weather conditions because we've had snow on the East Coast here. We'll keep you up to date to that and give Ashley Prosper a follow. Super, super smart and big influencer in this space. A lot of great information coming from Ashley Prosper. Bloomberg analysts. Thank you, Michael Branch. Give him a follow. It estimates there's a 70% chance, listen to this, Coinbase wins the motion to toss the SEC lawsuit. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but what I can say is that if this happens, I think this is going to be just as pivotal as the Ripple case. And if you add in where the Ripple case is right now, and winning this toss of this SEC lawsuit from Coinbase, and understanding the arbitrary capricious ruling in the Grayscale case, you really start to say that the SEC is running out of places to go legally. So I think if there's 70% chance Coinbase wins this motion to toss the SEC lawsuit, I think that means that if Coinbase wins that, and I will talk with James Murphy. We're going to talk with him next week, Meta Lawman, and he'll help us out with this as well. But it would appear to me that the SEC is very close to being sanctioned if they continue this kind of erratic approach to regulating this market. Now let's hear from James Murphy, Meta Lawman himself, as he was on Paul Barron right here about the SEC versus Coinbase dismissal possible soon.
fun. I was sitting next to my buddy, John Deaton, and we were rolling our eyes hearing that there was no ecosystem with Bitcoin. And the SEC said, yes, the tokens are securities. And then about 15 minutes later, they changed their answer to no, the tokens are just code and are not in and of themselves securities. And I think they changed it maybe once or twice after that. If the answer is no, then Gary Gensler has to stop going around referring to a thing called a crypto asset security.
Yeah.
And you just got to wonder, are they unaware, or are they telling the judge something that is not true purposefully?
Well, you know what? You can't come to any conclusion other than they're not telling the truth purposefully, because Gary Gensler had no confusion when he was at MIT teaching people that these things were not securities, right? It was completely different when he was at MIT. Shout out to both of those gentlemen here. Then we see this from Stuart Alderati, Chief Legal Officer of Ripple, basically calls the SEC a broken regulator, which is no joke, ladies and gentlemen. It'd be a lot funnier if he hadn't caused so much damage. Shout out to Stuart Alderati for that. That is absolutely true. And we will see, as we say, these cases are mounting against the SEC. At some point, they're going to be out of room. And if they continue what they're doing, listen to what James Murphy described. They're securities. 15 minutes later, oh, they're not securities. They're just computer code. This is what it means to be arbitrary and capricious. This is what it means to act in an unfaithful allegiance to the law. How much longer are we going to watch this happen in all these different cases? The only thing consistent about the SEC's approach is the lying, the manipulation. Look at the debt box case. They lied and hurt people, and they were lying. So, this is our country. This is our government. This is our government agencies using our money to infect and do whatever they want to do for their own personal interest. Where is the accountability? Ripple rejects the SEC's unreasonable demands in a new filing. Again, the SEC now looking to change the rules on the field. They would like to reopen discovery in the Ripple case when it should not even be considered. So we'll see what the judge does to this. We'll wait for Judge Ned Burns' decision on that. Again, the SEC acting erratic, anything goes. There's a different set of rules for Gary Gensler and his SEC than there is for the rest of the world. There's a constitution for all of us and laws, but I don't know what the hell they have to adhere to. Meanwhile, take a look at this, because this was I thought this was fantastic. Chad Steingraber was showing here after 6 trading sessions down here, BlackRock now owns 33,706 Bitcoin, while Fidelity crossed 30,000 as well. Consider this a full first week, now due a month. In February, these funds will be passing 100K under possession. So you can see the numbers are gathering very quickly to custody the physical digital asset Bitcoin for these funds. Now come up here to this. Now that you've been shown how fast these funds can ramp up, think about this. The Grayscale large cap fund has 1.04 XRP physical backing per share. That means once this uplist to live trading, it will work just like BTC. If someone buys 1 million shares, the fund buys 1 million XRP. You can clearly see how quickly you can soak up that loose liquidity into the custody for these funds. Very good point. Now, we're going down memory lane because we're going to take you somewhere today. Blockchain, core to settler, Ripple, Swift. And this was from back in 2019. We covered this, where we know that they were all working together. IBM, Ripple, however, are not players in the blockchain payments world. Late last year, and this is 2019, keep in mind, R3 launched its new core to settler platform using Ripple's XRP, but here it comes. In January, Swift announced a partnership with R3 where they are collaborating to test Core to Settler, specifically integrated with GPI. And with Core to Settler, however, Core to Settler depends on XRP token, the partnership to put Swift and Ripple, the two new rivals, in an indirect connection. Now, we know and we've come to learn over the years that XRP is not the only digital asset that can or will be used, but it certainly is and has been. So that is extremely exciting to see that tie. Now I want to share with you this clip here from Clayton Moore. Used to be on Fox. This is Clayton Moore here talking with Whitney Webb, who does incredible work. And I want you to hear how she's explaining to him, a mainstream media guy who now has his own podcast like a Tucker Carlson type, right? And now you have them talking about CBDCs, connecting R3, why the United Arab Emirates is so important. And as we move through this information and you hear this 3-minute clip here, I want to just show you, obviously, there's a connection and has been an early connection with R3, Swift, and Ripple over the use of XRP. This was a conversation that was open in 2019. Now, before I play this clip, I want to just run a few other things. Remember, R3 and Ripple were partnered for a while and then fell out of agreement with one another and had to go to court to sue over their relationship. Ripple said that R3 did not deliver on their end of the agreement. Now, that being said, it was said in 2020 that there was a settlement between Ripple and R3 estimated to $240 million because R3 had an options contract, which is probably one of those contracts that's in dispute as far as the SEC versus Ripple case goes. However, they had a 5 billion XRP option at that time. Yes. So there was pre-allocated XRP to R3 in an options contract, which is what we've been saying for years on this channel, and it's one of the things that we use to understand the credibility of that understanding. That speculation is validated. But then I want you to look at this. We're going to play this clip with Whitney Webb in a minute, but while you're hearing all of what she's going to say, think about these connections here. Ripple expands, and this is May 8th of 2023, okay? Ripple expands the Middle East, deepens commitment with new office, brings annual global conference to Dubai, of all places, right? And for those of you who don't know, Dubai is the biggest populous city in United Arab Emirates. Now, let's get back to the clip here and think about how Whitney Webb's explaining CBDCs, which Ripple helps create a platform for the central bank digital currencies in different governments around the world, the connection from R3 I just went back over with you, and then the deep connections that they have inside of the United Arab Emirates with banks, financial institutions, partners, and the region itself. And then she's going to talk about Tether too. Take a listen to this.
Deltec and FTX had a lot of connections with Tether, which is the biggest US dollar pegged stablecoin. And it's interesting that they, in creating this, in utilizing Farmington State Bank as this apparent front, were moving away from $1 pegged stablecoin Tether to this other one produced by Fluent Finance, which was positioning itself as a version of Tether that was more trustworthy, quote unquote, and more likely to make it past the requirements to be put forth by, coming regulation of the crypto industry.
Can you also
so it seemed like an effort to position themselves for that, post-regulatory environment.
You also talk extensively about the UAE and these overseas connections. Can you talk about that? What is the UAE connection here to all of this, the United Arab Emirates?
Yeah. So Fluent Finance was created for a particular purpose and dissuaded from fulfilling that purpose by the collapse of FTX and the scrutiny applied to Moonstone. And so in the aftermath of all of that, they ended up essentially rebranding to an extent and establishing themselves in the United Arab Emirates, where they teamed up with this other company called R3, which is currently producing the CBDC for the United Arab Emirates. But the UAE right now is trying to position itself as a Silicon Valley for the future of finance, essentially. And they're doing this with this nexus of companies that includes R3, Fluent Finance, the XDC network, and some other entities. And R3 is important to pay attention to here because they, for example, were named by the publication Central Banking as CBDC Partner of the Year. They've been building CBDCs all over the world, but they're also not just building CBDCs, they're building bank-issued stable coins, deposit tokens, all of the infrastructure for these things. And these are terms that maybe a lot of people don't know about. I mean, I'm sure a lot more people are familiar with CBDC than these other terms, but the idea is overall different classes of programmable surveillable money that don't necessarily have to be issued by the central bank. In the case of like a direct issued CBDC, you can have private banks issue money that's also programmable and surveillable in the form of a stable coin or in the form of tokenized deposits or deposit tokens. And there's a big push, particularly from Wall Street, to have that happen. So essentially you have Fluent Finance now in the United Arab Emirates building the infrastructure for these deposit tokens and in these stable coins in such a way that they're compatible and interoperable with CBDCs in the UAE and beyond. And so the goal here, as I see it, and as is outlined elsewhere in this piece, is to have the UAE sort of serve as a bridge between the BRICS block model or BIS model of CBDCs, which is a direct issue CBDC, where like the central bank itself is issuing the CBDC, with this model that's likely to be followed in the US, potentially the UK and elsewhere in the West, where it's not a CBDC in name, but it is in practice, something called sometimes a synthetic CBDC, which is essentially a stable coin. But its reserves are backed with the central bank of that country, or there's some sort of interbank settlement network like FedNow,
which Ripple is a partner of.
You know, there might be some sort of CBDC, but it's not interacting with the public, the end user, really at all. And so,
look, this is interesting to me because, first of all, she's nailing it here. And everything she's talking about, Ripple has some kind of indirect or direct connection to. This is going to be amazing to watch this next year or so play out, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this technical analysis before we get out of here, because I just felt like that was so strong. And understanding that the market is down so much, I want to take a look at a couple different opinions here. One is Dark Defender, who says, I've summarized what I've been saying for months below. Finding it complex, please grab your coffee first. XRP coiled himself as he did in 2021. Relative strength index at the same level equation. XRP stays below 52 cents for 3 days. 39 cents is in play. Yikes. Number two, XRP stays above 52 cents for 3 days, and 66 cents is in play. Now, here's the other part that I like. One way or another, Wave 2 will be completed, and Wave 3 is expected to target at $1.88 to $5.85. Both scenarios, for both scenarios. So whether we go to 39 cents or we stay above and go to 66 cents, it looks like we got sunshine and rainbows headed our way. I love that, Dark Defender. And they read crypto too. And I wanted to show the alignment here. And you know they're all using some of the same tools, some different tools. But XRP's EggRag Crypto says 585 is on the horizon and tactical insights unveiled. Look, I think this is the same thing too. Whether we see more downside or whether we fight and the buyers and the bulls get back up above 66 cents, they're saying we're going to find our way to the same outcome, which leans me into understanding patience is the greatest attribute of any investor. There's just no question in my mind, to be perfectly honest. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to go into the Freedom Zone. Go to digperspectives.com, click on the Freedom Zone and join us. It's almost next to nothing. You're talking a cup of coffee, for goodness sakes, for the month, for goodness sakes. And we're having the conversations in here that we know we need to be careful about having out on social media because censorship is just so alive and well. If you want freedom of speech, you can find it in the Freedom Zone. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. This is where we're going. I'll see you inside. Come on in.